Guaranteed fun. KCAA.
Sipping wine, silly, psilocybin affair. Sipping wine, silly, psilocybin affair. I'm sitting sipping wine with my silly
Oh, Tay, you said you wanted that real news. Well, I'm Bon Johnson, and it's time for News That Blows. Yo, Lama Groovies, welcome. This is News That Blows. I'm Bon Johnson, and we got, oh my goodness, this was such a crazy-ass week. There's so much in the news to talk about. Of course, as I told you folks last week, that the lovely Lady Albright will be joining us this week, and we will be getting around to her in a little bit. We also have my phone ringing. My brother, could you go down and let Terry in, please? Thank you. All right, there you go. This is how we roll here on News That Blows. We keep it live. It's a Saturday night. It's a freaking party up here in this studio talking about all this crazy news stuff. You know what? I want to start just a little bit before we even go into what's going to happen. I want to, right off the bat, happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. It was on Monday this week. And, unfortunately, a lot of the speech and words that we wanted to reflect on from Martin Luther King got desensitized and sterilized and I guess just split in half with the racist comments, quote unquote, that were made by our president. The big fight for DACA and how 70% of the people want DACA, but, it doesn't seem to be doing, so well. So the government shut down. Like I said, it is a crazy week. We're going to go to Ask Lady Albright, and we're going to talk about, we have a listener, as I said, who sent in their relationship question. We're going to read that question. We're going to be back with the 420 music break in the middle of the show. I'm Bon Johnson. This is News That Blows right here on KCAA Radio. We will be right back after this. Inland Empire, Bon Johnson here. Now, we all know that recycling saves the planet. But what do you do with your old TV sets, laptops, and computers? You can't just toss them out with the trash. You can pay someone else to come out and dispose of them for you, or you can do what I did. Take your old TV sets, laptops, and computers down to FNG Recycling Corporation and get paid for them. Another way FNG recycles your TV sets, laptops, and computers is by fixing them. Yes, they also do repairs at a great price. These guys are open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's FNG Recycling Corporation. Give them a call at 818-477-8072. Or just drop in. FNG Recycling Corporation is located in San Bernardino County at 18907 Bellflower Street in Adelanto, baby. Tell them Bon sent you.
You bet.
Howdy, folk. Now, as you can imagine, it gets awfully boring out here on the prairie, except for Saturday nights. That's when we all sit around the campfire and listen to News That Blows. That there Bon Johnson fella, he's something else. News That Blows with Bon Johnson, right here on the Inland Empire's own KCAA Radio.
See, that wasn't so bad, was it? Now, let's get back to more News That Blows. That's right. Let's get back to more News That Blows right here on KCAA Radio, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM in the Inland Empire, and on KCAAradio.com all over the world, baby! We are so excited to be us. All right, let's get back into this News That Blows stuff. I talked about, Donald Trump and his words and this and that. I like to say actions speak louder than words. He spent, I believe he was the first president since we have inducted a Martin Luther King Day here in America who has not gone to some sort of celebration of some kind. He went and played golf. He just avoided it all, didn't make a statement, didn't make a comment, kind of like the fires out here in California. He didn't talk about them at all. So there was that part. A little more food for thought is, oh, well, while we were celebrating Martin Luther King Day, I don't know if you people know this or not. I just found out for the first time this year. It turns out that in Alabama and Mississippi, they both celebrate General Robert E. Lee Day on Martin Luther King Day. Out of all 364 other days they could have picked, they have General Lee Day on Martin Luther King Day. So I you know, how childish can you be, folk? I mean, come on. You should grow up out there down south. Just grow up. All right. Speaking of South, we're going to talk a little bit about South and North Korea. We talked about how they're getting together and trying to make nice, and they sat down to tea. One of the great things that came from it is that the North and South are going to walk under the same flag in the Olympics in Beijing. And the Winter Olympics. So that's kind of a groovy thing. You know, peace is good. You know, if they don't have a reason to fight with each other, we really don't have a reason to stick up for one or the other, and that kind of pulls us out of the whole thing. So I'm real okay with this, whatever the reason for it is. North Korean women, they don't actually, and just so we know, North Korea only has 2 athletes that qualified for the Winter Olympics. It's a skating team. They're beautiful skaters if you're into skating. And so, but the Korean women will be playing on the same team as the South Korean hockey, on the hockey team. They are playing together. So, you know, that's a cool thing that's very interesting. And we talked a little bit about why it might be. Why is this? Why are North and South getting together? Trump put out a tweet saying it was because of him telling them what time it is and his resolve. I felt that it was more like they felt there's a bigger psycho than either of them. They may as well band together. But the truth of the matter is, likes speak a lot louder than anything. The North Korean cheering squad got a bazillion looks, likes, follows on Facebook. They're amazing. They're an amazing squad, like 256 performers. I think they're all female, and they are synchronized. I mean, it's an amazing show. I think because of all those likes, I think that's why they're getting together. That's why they're banding, because the money is in the likes. That's where people are doing stuff. So once again, I don't care why they're getting together. They're getting together, and in my opinion, that's a groovy kind of love. All right, we are going to come back. Oh, I want to talk a little bit about Steve Little Hitler Bannon, of course, how he got subpoenaed by Mueller. Then Steve, I look like McNulty's DUI photo every day Bannon, decided that he would not cooperate fully. Then he turned around and ran to the White House and tried to claim executive privilege. Of course, only the president can do that. So we got a bunch of guys in power who really don't know the rules, apparently. But that's kind of the stuff that went down this week. That's a little bit of the stuff that went down. Oh, while we're talking about Donald Trump and Steve Bannon, they found cocaine in pineapples in Florida. I had always heard that pineapples were loaded with vitamin C. I just was not aware of exactly how damn much vitamin C. So the reason I say that is, remember a few weeks ago when everyone was talking about drinking the water? Why does he drink the water the way he does? Anyone who's hung out with a dude who does blow knows that that's how they pick up water and drink it. If you got to drug test a guy to be on, to watch the parking lot at Home Depot, can we get a drug test on the president? I'm just saying. All right, we are going to be back in a few minutes with Ask Lady Albright. Yay! I'm so excited. I've been talking about this 2 weeks, and now you are back from the UK. And we will be right back with our listener's question for the lovely Christian Maxine Albright. Right after this message, you guys. We'll be right back with more news that blows.
Greetings, Inland Empire. I've got a question for you. What do you do if you've just graduated from high school, aren't ready to go to a university yet, and are nowhere near ready to get a career started? Or if you just want to upgrade your skill sets to get yourself a better job? I'm Bon Johnson from Kcaa Radio's News That Blows, and I've also got an answer for you. Further your education at San Bernardino Valley College. San Bernardino Valley College offers courses that will ready you for today's job market, taught by today's top-notch instructors. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school or if you have 20 years on the job. Go to valleycollege.edu and get your future started today. Hi, I'm Bon Johnson. I host KCAA Radio's News That Blows. I'm also trying to become a published writer. And when I first decided to write my book, I was given some great advice. I was told that a writer's most valuable tool is their butt, because the first thing you need to do to become a writer is put your butt in a chair and start writing. Great advice, but not altogether true. The first thing you need to do to become a writer is know how to read. Reading truly is fundamental. Yeah, that feels good. I like it. Let's do some more news that blows.
Yeah, that's right. That does feel good. Here we go. All right, we got a little rolling chair wrestling match going on over here between the headset and my boy Hipsy Gutters. We also got Terry Astro Ellis in the house. What's up, Ellis?
What's up? Hey.
Welcome back, man. Welcome to the show. Are you guys ready for this Ask Lady Albright? Because the three of us, we could have tried to answer some of these questions, but I'm pretty sure we would have sent people off worse than we found them. Yeah. So that is why we have an expert on the show. And without any further ado, Kirsten Maxine Albright. Lady Albright, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
well, first off, welcome back from the UK. Did you have a groovy time out there?
I had a great time.
Was it wonderful to be away from all the political chaos, or is they have it going on there too?
I don't pay much attention to it, to be honest. I'm not interested.
Oh, good for you. I want to be her when I grow up.
I'm interested in positive, great stuff.
That's why she's here. And Terry is a stand-up comedian. That's people. Besides the fact that they all look lovely on camera, there are reasons every single one of these people is here, and it is because he's a stand-up comedian. He likes to see things from the funny side. My brother here is a writer. He's a rapper. He's out in these streets. He hears the street point of view. Lady Albright here is a personal relationships expert, as well as has the opinion from the UK. So, I am surrounding myself with people who, if you hadn't noticed, are going to make me look very good. And if I can stand up to the people I've surrounded myself with, I'll be one groovy SOB. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. This week's question comes to us from, I'm going to scooch over here a little bit so I can read this properly. This week's question comes to us from a lady named Michelle from Hillsborough, Portland. Okay, that's just up the coast here. And the question is, dear Lady Albright, that's you.
That's me.
Yay! I've recently had my 40th birthday, and I feel as though I'm in pretty good shape. Maybe even the best shape of my life. Hey, there you go. Get down, Michelle. Good for you. I've been married to my husband for 18 years. Once again, good for you, right? I've been married to my husband 18 years. We have 2 children, aged 16 and 13 years old. He's a good husband and is really good with our boys. The problem I have is I've noticed him looking at younger women. Yeah, and he does this all the time. I haven't said anything to him, but it really hurts my feelings. Is all my effort to stay attractive for my husband in vain? Why would he rather look at these young girls than me? What can I do? I appreciate any advice you can give me, Lady Albright. Oh, yeah.
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that it's important to look good and feel good, and it's important to do that for yourself rather than for anybody else.
Oh, I agree.
And if you do it for yourself, you'll never feel resentment if you're not getting the attention that you're...
The accolades.
Exactly.
Right.
So... secondly, I'd like to say that men, well, not unfortunately, because women are a little bit as well, but men are visual, and that means they like to look. Even if they would be totally true to you, they still might find it, and they might not actually even realize that they're looking. And I think what's very important here is that you actually sit down and you explain to him how that makes him feel, how that makes you feel that he does that. Because I'm sure if you actually explained it to him, if he is a good husband and he is a good dad to your children, it's not anything he's doing intentionally, and he's probably not even aware that he's doing
Right.
it.
Well,
So
you know what?
talk to him.
In your book, that was actually one of the things that I liked about it, is the fact that although your book is written to enlighten men mostly, a lot of the stuff that you have in there and you state is really informative to women, letting women understand how visually controlled men are.
Yes.
You know, because to me, I look at women as an art gallery. And you know, because my favorite artist didn't paint this, does it make it wrong to look at this other artist's work? And so to me, it's just an appreciation of beauty.
But it's also finding that level where you're not doing it and disrespecting the woman that you're actually
Exactly.
with.
Right.
Because
Yeah, you can't be like oogling,
No,
or, you know, and trying to go talk to him or something.
Double looking and
Yeah,
stuff
staring
like that.
and
Then
whatnot.
that's a bit,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit too much
Yeah.
then, yeah.
Because, you know, I myself, I'm thinking, you know, I'm very confident in myself. I don't worry about things. But if I see my woman looking at some guy, I do have to pull the animal instinct back that wants to get jealous and start growling and snarling. I do have to pull that back and say to myself, hey, come on, just because she's with you, it didn't make everybody else ugly.
No.
And so, you know, that's kind of my feeling on that.
And it's about respect, isn't it?
It
Have respect
totally
for the
is.
person that you're with.
And you know what? I noticed Michelle in here talks about how good he is with their kids,
Yeah,
and he obviously
great.
sounds like she's
Yeah.
very in love with this man.
Yeah.
And so
And that's
it's
fantastic.
and the fact that
With
she sent this
18
letter
years.
in, 18 years, and she's still
long time.
searching for ways to make their relationship better. I'd have to say, Michelle, you're on the right track.
Yes.
You know, keep doing what you're doing, because you know, if you have an 18-year relationship, obviously you've done something well.
Talk.
Yeah.
Explain it.
So there you go. That is our Ask Lady Albright segment, you guys. Oh, I told you it was going to be great. Wasn't that what I was waiting for?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to talk some more. I just, you know,
Stop.
person. You know, just
Well, it's funny.
politely saying, you know.
Well, Gary, I brought Kirsten on Gary's show with me when we were PRing our show, and once again, thank you, Gary Garver. Controlled Chaos every morning right here on Kcaa Radio at 8 o'clock. We went on there, and Gary says to me, he's like, "Oh, dude, no one's gonna want to listen to you, man. She's just so pleasant on the ears." I'm like, "This is a risk I'm willing to take. This is a risk I'm willing to take." I told you I'm a little arrogant too. And so thank you. I love your opinion. You know, I just think, you know, you sit down in a room full of guys, you come up with stuff like, it's okay to get your appetite on the street long as you go home to eat. So I'm sure Michelle would really appreciate it hearing your side rather than the dude side. Because I do dude really well. Okay. Thank you, Michelle, and everybody. Please send your questions in to
Lady Albright. So you can send it into my email address, which is askladyorbright@ladyalbright.com.
There you go. Ask
Amazing.
Lady Albright. I'm going to come up with like 3.46824 lady/Albright / oh my goodness / because I'm so good with all this stuff. It's like when you don't know knots, you tie lots. That's how I get when I get on the internet. I just create more and more havoc for myself. Hey, let's not talk about my idiocies.
Well, and I just want to say, guys, please write in as well. It doesn't just have to be
You know what?
men.
You
Please,
guys
yeah?
really
Come on.
and you need to get the book and read it. As I said last week, guys, this will be the most valuable eighth of an inch that your sex life will ever have. All right? It's not any huge novel. It's an eighth of an inch paperback book that every guy should have in the glove box of his car, baby. Quit playing, you know what? Because there's everything in it that you need to know about relationships, all the way down to breaking up, should it go that route. There's the condoms, pregnancy, in case you were too stupid to listen when she told you about condoms. Okay, I'm done clowning and talking about that. We're going to be right back with more news that blows after these messages from some of our super groovy sponsors, of which we could not do this without. Kcaa Radio News that blows. Bon Johnson, be right back.
Woo.
Hey, this is lifelong rocker and legend in my own mind, Bon Johnson here. Now, when I want to feel like a rock god, which is pretty much all the time, I wear rock star clothing. My girl calls them her BBs because
they're designed by Brandon Bruno.
yeah, that part. I just call them me looking like a rock god. Oh yeah, rock star clothing.
My BBs, baby.
Go to rockstarclothing.com and get you some. Oh, Tay, I've helped a gang of friends move over the years, and I thought I was pretty good at it. That was until I watched the guys at Golden Hands Moving and Relocating Company pack up and move my friends, well, his everything. Oh, I still got my pizza and beer. I just got to enjoy it while watching them do the work instead of me. And that didn't suck. I'm Bon Johnson, and I'm here to tell you that moving doesn't have to suck. Call Golden Hands Moving and Relocating Company and let them do the work. They even seem to like it. That's Golden Hands Moving and Relocating Company. Call them at 310-809-5095 and tell them Bon sent you.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292 FQ Riverside, and K293 CF Moreno Valley.
If I haven't offended you yet, stick around for some more of this news that blows. I'm sure I'll get to you sooner or later.
That's right. I'm sure I'll get to you sooner or later. Come on, you damn kids. What do you got? Get off my lawn before I get the hose. Get out of here. Get out of here, you damn kids. All right, we're having loads of fun here. It is a Saturday night. And you guys, you know what? Thank you for listening in to our Saturday night news party right here on KCAA Radio, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM in the Inland Empire. That's right, Riverside, San Bernardino. We're rocking it for you kids, baby. And of course, all over the world on KCAAradio.com and streaming so that you can see the lovely, lovely people who are here with me. And once again, to refresh you, we have, as I fall out of my chair, we have the lovely to my right, the lovely Kirsten Albright, our relationships expert. We have our man on the streets, Hipsy Gutters, in here, and we got our stand-up comedian brother from another mother, Terry Ellis. All right, let's get back into this news, and of course, you will be staying with us and sharing more opinions than just your relationships, I hope, because you know, I figured, hell, if I surround myself with smart people, someone might just think I am. Mama taught me right. Okay, let's talk about. Oh, dudes, I don't know if you guys saw this, but in Puerto Rico, the big wave competition, 80-foot waves, dude. 80-foot waves. And these fools were out there riding them. Oh, my goodness. Go on the internet, and I hate to say this, but you got to see the wipeouts. These poor bastards. I mean, they know what time it is when they go out and do this, but, you know, and in the sporting world, Maria Sharapova is back. In the tennis world, she's back from her suspension from banned substances. She's been out 2 years. The downside is, the same tournament she's coming back, Serena had to bow out of because she didn't feel she was in good enough shape to defend her championship. So she bowed out of the Australian Opens at the same time Maria Sharapova came back. So look out, folks. Sharapova's back. The long legs of the law. Quit playing. Maria Sharapova's back. I just love her tennis style. She's aggressive, she's mean, she's nasty, everything I love in a woman. So there you go. Maria Sharapova is back. Oh, while we're talking about sports and whatnots, this isn't actually sports, but this is an athlete. Simone Biles came forward that she too had been sexually assaulted by this team doctor, what's this idiot's name, Larry Nassar. Yeah. You got to figure she had to come forward because, let's face it, everybody in their right mind is going, you're going to molest all them and not molest her?
Right.
I mean, come on. So she came forward, and apparently there was no stone unturned by this guy. There are hundreds, literally hundreds. Wow. He's already got a 60-year sentence for his child porn before they even start sentencing him for the actual women he got his hands on. How do vile people like this get away with this so long? I want them to turn around and go and do checks on every single person who was involved in management and find those emails that they hid back and forth between each other. Find those text messages where they talked about this, because somebody had to know. You don't abuse hundreds of little girls without somebody saying something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it just doesn't go that way.
That's right.
So I really want to see them not just take it to him. I want them to take it to the people who enabled it. This should have been a horrific story of 3 or 4 little girls whose lives got destroyed by some idiot.
Yeah.
It should never have become a hundreds of woman thing. So shame on the Olympic Committee, shame on everybody who had anything to do with it. That is news that blows right there, times 100.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Everybody, I hope all of you at home are feeling the same shame and poo-poo towards these guys that I'm feeling. Okay, while we're talking about sick people, 13 kids held captive by their own parents, beat, tortured, starved, and this guy got away with it by being homeschooled, claiming himself as a principal of the school. If you're going to have homeschooling, I'm sorry. I know they call them regulations, but they're not regulations. They're protections.
Right.
They're there for a reason. We're going to be right back in a little bit. First, we're going to do our 420 music break. This is the point in the show where I take a deep breath and try to relax because I get a little fired up. We hear some music. Today's 420 music joint of the week is by Schizo. It is Otra Vez. We'll be right back after the 420 music break, right here on KCAA Radio, news that blows. Baby.
Check it out, man. I got something I want to share with you here today, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a little story, and my story is called Otra Vez. So you go ahead and check it out, eh? Ora. It goes like this. I went in for some shots when I spied this Maspina señorita. I smile, she wink, I say, you wanna come sit next to me, huh? She said, I love the way you dance, and I'm drinking what you drink. The bartender turned to me and smiled. I said, man, what you think? Set him up. Otra vez. Otra vez. Bring him on, amigo. Más tequila. Más tequila. Otra vez. Oh, yeah, let him all of him across the bar, amigo. Yeah, that's right. And when you get done, you bring me another one again, eh? Oh, but check this part out, eh? So we go back to her apartment and she says, come here, don't be shy, boy. I didn't bring you all this way for nada. It's time for you to be my love toy. After 2 or 3 hours, I lied here still as if I were dead. She said, oh no, mijo, and she starts to give me head. Otra vez. Oh man, otra vez. If I got a diamond, you know, I think maybe this is the way to go. Yeah, that's right. She just keep coming back for more. Otra vez. Oh, my chihuahua. to keep it up for her, man, but she want to go all night long, man. Oh, she like to ride me like a bicycle, man, eh? She work me like a swing. She like to ride me over and over and over again, eh? That's right, man. Hey, check this out. So when you're in your room and you're playing this tune and it comes to an end, you know what to do, man. Play it otra vez. Louder this time, my friend, eh? And when your mama, she comes in and she says, oh, Neil, how can you listen to the same song over and over again? You just smile, you feel like that, and then you turn it up and you play it over again, eh? Otra vez!
Otra vez! That was Schizo out of Inglewood, California. Don't you know? Don't you know? Hey, and I would like people to be. That's right, Inglewood. The only city spelled with 2 O's but pronounced with 6. Don't get it twisted, baby. That was Ultra Vase. Every week we do the 420 music break here. I also, over on radiospaz.com, do an hour-long 420 music break. I'll tell you all a little bit about that in the next commercial spot coming up, because we are slick like that, and that's how we roll it together. But I want you to send in to bonjonsyn, BONJONSYN, @gmail.com. Send me your MP3s of your joints, you guys. I'll get them on the air on this show and maybe on my 1-hour show over on Radio Spaz. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors. Gentlemen and ladies. Another great 420 music break. You know, we got the folks at radiospaz.com to thank for that. The good folk over at radiospaz.com not only re-air this show, News That Blows, every Monday night at 7, they also play my independent music show titled, yep, you guessed it, the 420 Music Break. This is Bonjonsyn, and I'm spinning independent music, uncut, uncensored, played exactly the way the artist recorded it. Because that's how they get down over at radiospaz.com. Give us a listen, radiospaz.com.
Otra vez!
Aw, snap. Your car just broke down, and taking it to a mechanic is so not in the schedule, even if you did know where to find a good one. Sound familiar? Don't trip, friends. Your boy Bonjonsyn has got your back. When this scenario becomes your scenario, call Canopy Shop Auto Service. CSAS will send out a top-notch mechanic who will bring out his tools and a canopy and set up shop around your car. It doesn't matter if your car broke down at home, at work, or even out on the street. Canopy Shop Auto Service will set up shop anywhere. And weather problems are no problems for these guys. They and your car are under a canopy. But what I like most about CSAS is that their mechanics always leave your car cleaner than they found it. Yeah, really. So, there you have it. Auto repair made convenient. Call Canopy Shop Auto Service at 424-223-4924. Tell them Bond sent you. Hey, what are you doing in the fridge? Get back in here. It's time for more news that blows. That's right. And by the way, you know that whole Tell 'em Bond sent you thing? Please, tell them Bond sent you. I want these guys to know that their products are being heard out here on our radio show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Help us out a little bit with that one. We surely would appreciate it. Let's see. We'll be talking about crazy stuff that happened in the news. There was a car that launched into a second story of a dentist office. Did you guys see the footage of this? It just missed a bus. It just missed the bus. They have the bus's head footage, and you just see this flash go through with all this dirt flying on the windshield.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, the car was flying, hit a mound of dirt, and it launched him up. The car not only crashed into, it didn't fall, it stuck. It was there, hanging out of the second story window. The craziest stuff ever.
Once in a lifetime.
Right, once in a lifetime. The fireman was saying, he's like, I've been 30 years on the job. That I've never seen. Yeah. I'm like, I'll bet. So that was just some wild, crazy stuff that happened in the news. Oh, and here's it. All right, first off, stupid driving your car like that and crashing like that. How can you compound it and make it stupider? Drop out of the car, find the first policeman you can, and tell him that the reason you did it is because you've been doing dope. Jeez Louise, at least let him find it, huh? Uh-oh. So this guy put the more and more on a couple times over, I guess. So I guess it blows to be him. And right now, hopefully he's not blowing his way through prison.
Oh, no.
Trying to get in some cookies and a sandwich. Get in the program. That's right. Get in the program. Quick, way quick. Here's something that blows. Apparently so many people are abusing the support pet system in airlines that now people who are really blind are having to literally go through hell just to get their dog on planes. Because now everybody who's got a pooch has going out and buying a little red vest for them and calling them a support dog. These dogs are not properly trained. 84% more animal accidents this year since regulations were taken away. Once again, we call them regulations, they're protections. 84% more animal bites, animal disruptions, dogs peeing on and going to crap in airlines. All this has happened over the year because so many people abuse a system that is really meant to help people. That blows in so many ways. People out there, please pull your head out of your poopers and just do what's right for other people every now and then. Please, we set up these really, really good systems to help people, and then they can't get the help they need because a bunch of jerk-offs are taking advantage of it. Yeah. It's like when I see somebody with the handicap sticker, and they park, and then they stroll out and jump up and go and get them a cappuccino. I'm like sitting on the hood of their car waiting for them. I'm like, oh, how's that cappuccino? Yeah, it tastes good. You want to see how it feels? I'm about to let you wear it. I hate it when people do that. As a matter of fact, I actually won't even park in the closest space that's not handicapped because I assume that somebody with lesser physical condition could use it more.
Yeah, and John Bond ain't snitching. That's the truth.
This is a true story.
Y'all need to cut that out.
Y'all need to quit. Don't make me come after you.
It's a difference.
Snatch your cappuccino out your wrinkly little hand. Okay, this year was the big anniversary, Trump's first year in office. It's been a full year, folks. And, the only thing that really blows about this is that every station on the planet decided that they had to go find a voter that they talked to a year ago and interview them. And it's like, y'all didn't get it the first year? They were horrible interviews the first year. Now you're going to bring them back on TV and make us listen to them justify their horrible vote a year later. Come on. It's just, I'm not wild about these on-the-street interviews that they play. It seems to me like they find the stupidest, most ignorant people on the planet. I guess that's entertaining, but that doesn't represent the American people, and it makes me crazy when they stick them in front of the camera and ask them things that really actually matter. Okay, so that's what blows about that. As far as Trump's year, if you're a Trump person, you loved it. If you're a rich person, you loved it. The rest of us, not so much. Okay.
Hello.
Also, the Syrian war has reached its 7-year anniversary, and it's the 1-year anniversary of us not hearing a damn word about the Syrian war. Just do the math, folks. You haven't heard about this war. The war is still going on over there. People are still suffering. Yeah. There's still over 200,000 people displaced, folks. Just because you don't hear about it anymore, well, he's saying it's fake news. They're being very well controlled by him. Yeah. The people in power are not letting what they don't want out, and that's a sadness. Our media is there to keep us informed, not to keep us stupid, not to lead us around by the nose like a bunch of children. Okay, so there were some statements made by a senator. I'll talk a little bit about that more because that comes in a little bit later in the program because they are kind of important statements made. I want to give it due time. But I do want to smooth on to, the Syrian war is 7 years old. I said when the war, way back when I was on Blog Talk, I said, we've got a situation that's 18 months old. And nobody's really talking about it, but if somebody doesn't give these people a hand, they will take whatever hand reaches out for them. Now that happened to be the Taliban. It happened to be ISIS. They had the money. They were willing to help the people. They jumped in. Now there's like 3-4 different wars going on there. Most of it's proxy war. A lot of it is real deal stuff that has been boiled up, turbulated by the proxy wars. And I think it's horrible. The whole proxy wars. I did a whole show on that back in the day too. Maybe we'll have somebody of a military stature in to talk to me about proxy wars and help me understand how heartless you have to be to go ahead and completely destroy somebody else's society for more money in your pocket. So, that is of itself a whole nother issue. Any of y'all ever heard of biometrics? Anybody? Biometrics? Me either.
Yeah.
I hadn't. Apparently, Google hadn't heard of it either. They have this new app that matches your face up with famous portraits. If you look like the Mona Lisa, they'll match you up. But apparently, they're breaking a law by doing this. A biometrics law that came down that protects your privacy from other people using your likeness and your picture. This is News That Blows. I'm Bon Johnson. This is KCAA Radio, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM in the Inland Empire, KCAAradio.com, all over the world. I'm Bon Johnson. These groovy folk and me will be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Bon Johnson, and as good as I am at the on-air side of radio, I really needed some help with the off-air side. You know, the business side. Then I spoke with my friends at Empowerment Projects International, LLC. Now, I knew that EPI has multi-million, even billion-dollar companies that they work with. But what I didn't know was that those same business strategies could work for me. If you're a small business trying to get bigger or a big company trying to go global, EPI will help you plan, design, implement, and manage your business. Empowerment Projects International, LLC helped to get me on the air, and they'll help to keep me here. Let them do the same for your business. Go to emproj.org and see what Empowerment Projects International, LLC can do for you.
Oi, Captain, the chesture's all been buried and the crew is all back aboard. What next, sir?
What day be it?
What day be it? What day be it? I think we're coming up on the weekend, sir.
Good. Then set sail for the Renaissance Pleasure Fair.
Set sail for the Renaissance Pleasure Fair?
You are aware that I've already got a pirate.
Yes, sir. All hands on deck. Set sail for the Renaissance Pleasure Fair.
The original Renaissance Pleasure Fair from April 7th to May 20th. Go to renfair.com and get your tickets today.
Come on now, leave that thing alone. It's time for more News That Blows with me, Bon Johnson.
That's right, with me, Bon Johnson. But I'm not alone, baby. I got by with some help from my friends, the lovely Kirsten Maxine Albright to my right, Hipsy Gutters in the middle over here, and my boy Terry Astro Ellis, also known as Uncle Terry, out there in the comedian scene doing the Get Down with the Get Down.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's get back into the Get Down. Speaking of the Get Down, well, apparently we had a gentleman who's been in our CIA for quite some time who was arrested at JFK Airport out there in New York recently this week for mishandling intelligence, mishandling classified information. And apparently by mishandling, they mean selling to the Chinese. I love how they reword stuff so it doesn't sound like things are really going badly. He mishandled classified information. That's called treason. He leaked our stuff to the Chinese. He got paid for it. They got information that we weren't supposed to have them have. I don't know how they call that mishandling. Oh, he got very caught. Yes, he did. So he's 53 years old. I love it when they talk about there may be a 94-year sentence, 94 years to life. I'm like, he's 53. Folks, do the math. 94 is life.
Yeah.
You know. So,
you didn't need to add the 50.
Yeah. Okay. It's over. Well, thank goodness you said to life. Or, I feel like we're really being justified. Jeez Louise. We've got a couple things that happened not in our country that you did not hear about here because. Remember I was talking about the protections, these regulations they talk about? Mm-hmm. Well, here's a couple examples of what happens in countries who don't have protections and regulations, which we, by the way, will be very, very soon. All of ours have been drawn away. We just haven't had enough time to see these repercussions yet. In Jakarta, Bangladesh, a whole mausoleum level of a mall fell through, crashed through with 60 students on it. Nobody was killed, but or 80 students, I'm sorry, 80 students, nobody was killed, but all 80 of them plunged to the bottom floor with all the extra concrete and stuff and were injured. Okay, this is what happens when you take away regulations. They're called protections, is what we should have called them. Then we wouldn't have these idiots acting like Big Brother's keeping his thumb on you. No, he's protecting you from these people who will shortcut you into ending up being one of those 80. All right, that's what happens. That's why we have regulations.
Yeah.
They're protections. They're not regulations. They're protections. They're not holding anybody back. They're saving your ass. All right?
Say that.
Yeah.
Cape Town, South Africa, is literally 3.5 months away from not having a single drop of water left. This is not some small little town. This is Cape Town. This is the biggest community. This is a big resort community. There are guys with hotels who already have all of their plant life dying. They have to use 9 gallons of water a day per household. Each person here in the United States uses 100 gallons of water a day per person, not household.
That's crazy.
Okay? So that's how bad it has gotten because they decided not to go with desalinization. They all decided it was somebody else's job to take care of it. Now they're all looking around, and every single one of them is about to lose everything behind it. Once again, regulations are protections, people. They are protections so that we don't end up droughted out. You saw what they did to those cats out in Michigan. They just let their water be dirty, and they didn't give a damn till finally, I think, 2020 or CNN, somebody went out there and did a report. Then they finally had to step up and clean up their water. But that's what regulations are for, to keep us from drinking brown water, to keep us from running out of water, to keep us from falling through the second story of a building built by shabby materials because there are no regulations. All right, and of course, a guy like Trump, who makes his living cutting corners building these buildings, is going to get rid of the regulations because he's not there for you folk, he's there for him. So put that in your bag and smoke it. All right. Well, apparently my 420 music break didn't do so good in calming me down. It lasted all of however long that song was. Okay, Democratic Congressman Robert Mendez, folks, they're going to retry him. Apparently all those judges that Trump put into power are finally starting to pay their dues back. This guy, they figured there wasn't enough. It was a mistrial, but he's a Democrat, and they're going to go after him again. So there you have it. They couldn't prove anything the first time, and they're going to go ahead and waste the taxpayers' money a second time just so that they could have some Democrat that they could wave in front of the press saying, look what horrible people the Democrats are. Quite frankly, both parties are a bunch of screwed-up idiots who are money-grubbing, something I can't say due to FCC rules.
Hello.
FCC. Yes. I mean, don't get me started on them. We don't have time. Okay. So they're going after this guy again. For the second time now, Senator Flake, a Republican, has spoke out against Trump's attack on the media. This is what I said I was going to talk about later. This gentleman didn't do this for the first time. He did this like a month ago, and I had posted all over my Facebook that I thought he had great balls and courage to do so, to stand against the mighty Trump wall himself.
That's right.
And so he did. He's speaking up, and his point is valid, that the only thing that we have between losing total control of our government and not is the press telling us what they're doing.
Right.
You see how hard they're working to get behind closed doors to do these deals? Yeah. That should tell you how hard we need our press, and we need the honest truth. We need people embedded in every meeting, in every war, in every planning. We need to have journalists with credibilities again so that people can start believing in our journalists. The internet is desensitized stuff. Just because the internet lies to you all the time, that doesn't mean Tom Brokaw all of a sudden is an internet idiot just blowing smoke out his butt. There are respected journalists out there giving real news, folks. So get out there and get you some of that. Senator Kennedy, also a Republican, spoke out. He said that our country was founded by geniuses and is being run by idiots. Wow. So there seems to be a bit of an upthrow going down. We're going to be right back. Jeez, this hour is just taking off so fast, so much news. We'll be right back with more news that blows after a couple of these words. Say hi, everybody. News that blows. We'll be right back.
Hey, folks, riddle me this. Since The Tonight Show left the building, what else is there to do in the city of Burbank? Well, you can always go visit the Martial Arts History Museum. Learn about how martial arts was created, then banned and hidden away for years, until finally resurfacing to become the phenomenon it is today. The curator of the Martial Arts History Museum, Michael Matsuda, has also put together an amazing collection of martial arts movie memorabilia, like Liu Kang's shield from Mortal Kombat, and even the weaponry created by Gerald Okamura used in Bruce Lee films. The Martial Arts History Museum also hosts lots of great events, at which you might just meet some of the stars from your favorite action films. The past, the present, and the future of martial arts can all be found at the Martial Arts History Museum. Go to martialartsmuseum.com, then go to the Martial Arts History Museum. I'm Bon John Sin, and I'm asking you to please support martial arts and support the Martial Arts History Museum. Greetings, folk. I'm Bon John Sin. I host a new talk radio show called News That Blows, where I'll be taking a somewhat cynical look at the stories in the week's news, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on KCAA Radio, 102.3 FM, 106.5 FM, and 1050 AM in the Inland Empire, and KCAAradio.com all over the world. Because as long as there's news, there will always be news that blows. Don't go getting all soft on me now. We still got a little bit more news that blows.
That's right. We still got a little bit more news that blows right here on KCAA Radio, 102.3 FM, 106.7 FM, 1050 AM in the Inland Empire, and of course KCAAradio.com, where you can actually see us streaming around through this whole hour of glowiness. Wave to everybody. Oh, hi, Mom. I know my mom's not watching, but that's okay. I still love her. Okay, speaking of the Republican Party, this is something that I don't know. Call me twisted. Say I have a just foul sense of humor, but I just thought it was so funny when they propped up poor old Bob Dole to give him that the Congressional Gold Medal, which is the highest award you can receive as a civilian. That poor guy was like 90-some years old. They propped him up. He's pretty much, you know, the poor guy. So they're working really hard to have some glory day while they send this guy to court. They throw him up there for glory day stuff, and it's just so hilarious. I felt so bad for the guy. Never been a Bob Dole fan, but I actually felt sorry for the poor bugger. We are getting toward the end of our show now, folks, and so I would like to spend this next minute and a half asking each one of the folks here where we can get their stuff. Lady Albright.
You can get it from ladyalbright.com. That's it.
All right, ladyalbright.com. Now, Hipsy Gutters, give me the proper spelling of your name, because I screwed it up one week and I want to make sure everybody gets it right.
It's HYPSYGUTTAZ.
GUTTAZ at Bandcamp, right?
You got it, bro.
That's my dog. Listen, I'm going to be featuring one of Hipsy Gutters' joints around the week next week as our 420 music joint of the week. You already know. Uncle Terry.
Yeah.
Where you going, baby?
You can follow me on IG, Instagram at Cousin Terry on Instagram.
Cousin Terry. I'm calling him Uncle Terry. Why did you fix me?
I've been playing the name.
Cousin Terry.
But I'll be out in LA at one of the improvs. Follow me on IG. You'll see.
There you go, folks. You can always find me, Bon John Sin, on Facebook under Bon John Sin. Remember, I spell Sin with a Y, folks. Why not? There you have it. Please do go to Amazon, I believe, is where you can get Relationships in a Nutshell.
That's right, yeah.
So please go to Amazon and all the other places where you find books, folks. This lady does this for real. Her book, Relationships in a Nutshell, you can get there. Please send in your music to me, Bon John Sin, BONJONSYN. This has been the 420 Music Break, folks. At 6:23, you and me is we, right here on the 420 Music Break. We'll see y'all then. Bye!
Bye.
Good job, y'all. Nice.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Across the country piously rant against giving a few bucks worth of jobless benefits to the needy, then turn around and shove billions of our tax